You gotta take chances. I think audiences are starved for something that's new and different.
Have you been seeking something new? A new horror experience that takes it to the next level? Well, look no further because you have found the perfect movie. That movie is Malignant. Now, before you jump into the movie, let me warn you that you will not experience a horror experience, but you will have a new experience. And this new experience is 100% absolutely hilarious. I want to talk about why it's hilarious, but before I do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Got it? All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and dive in. Malignant was released a couple of weeks ago, and by the fates, I ended up watching it the day after it came out. Now, my friends and I were going through a couple of movie trailers, and we saw this one, and we saw James Wan say something very specific. He said,
Audiences are starved for something that's new and different.
My boyfriend was like, oh, I'm craving something new. Let's watch it. We realized right away that it was a little bit on the campy side, you know, a little bit overdramatic, a little bit excessive, a little bit out there. And we were like, okay, so wait a second. Is this a horror movie or is this a comedy movie? It was a little on the fence right at the beginning. I mean, there was this one line.
It's time we cut out the cancer.
That just encompasses the camp that is the beginning of this movie. Once we realized what we signed up for, we thoroughly enjoyed the ride. The entire movie is beyond hilarious, except for one little thing, and they do really do this. They really, really lean into this. There's a topic of abuse. I don't know why the topic of abuse is thrown into this whole story, because it's like really, really jarring with the rest of the movie, and I think they could have toned that back a little bit. There could have been other things that they could have used in order to get the same point across without it having to be actual abuse. Really weird, but if you can get past the whole like abuse angle that they go down for way too long and way too like taking itself seriously, but also not. Once you get past that, you can really thoroughly enjoy the movie. And I even watched it a second time so I could get some of these clips. I actually enjoyed the movie more the second time. Like, it was even more fun of an experience to watch it a second time, which I did not think was going to happen. I thought, like, you know, this was a one and done kind of movie, but alas, here we are. So what makes this movie so hilarious is, one, the way that the actors are all just completely over the top. There are multiple times when they're just like making these faces that you're just like... And then the dialogue in this movie is so not how humans talk. Do you ever like watch a movie or read a book where you're just like, has this person been around real people? There's like a moment when she's like, I wanted to have a child so that I could have a blood connection with somebody, because having an adopted sister just doesn't cut it. Like, I don't feel connected to you. Who talks like that? And then there's the line where the doctor is like,
You've been a bad boy, Gabriel.
Come on. I think that is the key to the camp, though, right? Isn't the key to the camp talking how people don't really talk? I don't know. Maybe just like take it to the next level, take it a little bit out there.
If you don't, you end up making the same old thing again and again and again.
There are some things that actually were freaking cool. And some of the things that were really cool were the way that they did the transitions between scenes. There's like 3 or 4 of them that happen where like one scene melts away into another scene, kind of like Silent Hill-like, but different. And I thought those were done so well. It was so cool, the way that they shot it, the angles, the way that everything melted away. I thought that was awesome. My boyfriend said that it was really stupid. That was like one of his least favorite things. That was actually my favorite thing. So you might be anywhere on this spectrum. I mean, you might hate it, you might love it. I mean, isn't that the thing about movies though? Everyone's kind of on a spectrum somewhere. There's a chase scene between the cop and this character Gabriel, who's like the bad guy. And I was watching it with our friends and I was like, why does it look like a person running backwards? And how the heck are they running backwards this fast? I was like really taken aback by that. I thought it looked hilarious to see this cop chasing after this person, like running backwards, like jogging backwards. Like, I'm not even kidding. running backwards. And you're just like, are their bones broken? And then there's this fight scene later at the end where Gabriel is fighting in like the cop precinct. And oh my God, is that hilarious too? Oh, and when he's like fighting in the prison. It's just so over the top. It's like, you know what this movie reminds me of? Malignant really reminds me of a scary movie. Oh, I just realized that scary movie literally is like an entire genre. I mean like a scary movie. You know, like Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, Scary Movie 3. You know, the ones with like the actors who are all like over the top, dramatic, campy. Like those are the definition of camp. Updated for the modern audience. It's hilarious, but also kind of creepy. It like kind of walks that line like Shaun of the Dead. But there's some times when it doesn't really pay off, but I think for the most part, it really pays off. I think this movie was absolutely hilarious, and I think it's 100% worth watching. If you watched Malignant, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. I want to know what was your favorite scene. I'm going to tell you right now that the scene that stuck with me the most the first time I watched it was actually this U-turn. It's squealing. Like, can you imagine? She's just like, all of the sudden, out of nowhere, decides she needs to pull a Yui. But I will say I have some mild criticism for this movie. I watched it a second time and I saw some major incongruencies with the film. There are some things like the very opening scene. These incongruencies I will not accept. So remember how I said Gabriel was running backwards? Well, there's this one incongruency that really bothers me, and it's in the opening of the movie. In the opening of the movie, they tie up Gabriel around his ankles, and his ankles are facing the front, and his face is facing the front. But when he's running in this later scene, his feet are facing backwards as he is running backwards. So which is it? Is he frontward or backwards? But I think for the most part, the whole like backwards angle, they do pretty well. I mean, I think they keep it pretty consistent outside of that like major incongruency, right? Like major incongruency. In the beginning, I was like, oh, we got to remember these socks. These socks are important. They're little penguin socks, right? So we're like, okay, what do the penguins mean? We're looking for penguins later in the movie to try to figure out like what happened to Gabriel. Literally, it's a red herring. Those socks mean nothing. But what does bother me is that those socks are facing forward and they should be facing backwards. I'm done ranting. Malignant was hilarious. If you enjoyed it, let me know by liking this video. And if you disliked Malignant, let me know by liking this video. But while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks. And I hope that you have a beautiful, amazing, fantastic day. Bye-bye. Also, there was this one scene where he like rips his face out. And it's hilarious. I wish you could see it. I'm gonna have to blur out most of it, but it's fucking hilarious.